Hello, 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 and welcome to Manifest. I'm so excited that you're here. So excited. I'm so excited to be here too. So thank you everybody that's registered. I think there ended up being, I don't know, 53 or something. Then I just saw a heap come in, so maybe it's around the 60 mark. If you are here, if you could please say hello. Let's just see if these comments are working to see if I can see things. How are we going? If you're here, say hello. Maybe I need to say hello. Is it going to be one of those days? Maybe. Who knows? All right. I'm just going to give a minute just to see if this works, because it still just says posting for me. One of those funny days with Facebook. Okay, if you're here, could you please say hi? You know, as soon as I go and change the way I do things. Oh, here we go. Andy's here. Jess is here. Louise is here. Hello. Hi, Andy. Oh, here we go. They're all here. Hey, Jamie. Hi, Valerie. Hello, Carmel. Hey, Mags. Hi, Tina. How you going? Hey, Chels. Hello, everybody. Hi, Katie. Hi, Sharon. Thank you. Now it's working. It doesn't say how many viewers or any comments or anything, so we'll just have to keep going at this. This is going to be fun. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for giving your time up. But guess what? You're giving your time for yourself here, because this is all for you. This is all going to help you start to bring in exactly what you want. And you will notice in this 5 days that something about you is going to change, and something about your results is going to change. That is not going to be a coincidence. That is not going to be just lucky. You are going to be doing it because something in you is going to change from this training. Even if it's just one thought, just one way that you process something, it can make the biggest changes and shifts in your whole life. So first of all, I would like to know, where are you coming in from? And while they're coming into the comments and telling me what town you're in or what country, wherever you're coming from, I just want to give a shout out to my team of Limitless Ladies. So we have Karina, we've got the 3 C's here, Karina, Claudia, and Cara. And we have Sarah and we have Jess. We also have Andy. Andy is just sitting this one out. So none of you will be, Andy won't be reaching out to you privately. All of these other ladies will be reaching out to you privately, because there is one reason that we do that. I can give you this information. And guess what? It could just be like another self-help book on the shelf there. Just put on the shelf and I'll get to it later. And maybe you might just watch these and you've been given a workbook. If you do not apply this work to your life and start to recognize some of the things that you could change and then actually change them, nothing will change. I have worked with countless people and they say, Polly, I've got all these books. I know all of this stuff. And I said, yeah, why aren't you doing it? Because I've never had anybody to hold me accountable. I've never had anybody to check in on me to say, hey, have you done this work yet? And have you done that work yet? So I realized that this is what you all need. So this is why we do this. Now, I also have some other people that help me out. I'm just going to write Catherine in here, because then that might get that going. Okay, cool. Yes, it does. So in the background, I have Lisa Dunwell. Lisa Dunwell helps me with WildFit. Those of you that have done WildFit, you know that she is amazing in the chats, and then also helping me out with the Zooms as well. Then I have Maggie. Maggie is our Kajabi queen, and she is our queen to help us with everything. As soon as we've got a problem and something's not working, we're like, Maggie, how come this doesn't work? Mags, can you help me out with this? And that is for my clients as well. My clients are all just know, I say, anything happens, you need any help, you just ask Maggie. She is always there to help us. And then I also have Hannah and Valentina. They are behind the scenes. Val helps me get all your packs sent out to you, send you journals off your winnings and stuff. And Hannah helps me with some of my posts in Facebook. So we are a group of 10 women out here helping you change your life. So if you see any of these ladies, or if you're in a chat with them or they're helping you at all, send them all a love heart, because they are here to help you get what you want. That's our whole purpose in life, is to help more people get what they want. Because when we're going after what we truly want, it's something we desire, hey? We have to love it first. So when we're going after something that we love, guess what? We have to feel love first. And whenever we are feeling love, guess what? the chances of your actions being nicer actions and kinder actions, and the words coming out of your mouth being nicer and kinder, the world is a better place. So the more people that we can spread this to around the globe, the better the whole world is going to be. The more people that we can get to turn that television off and stop watching the news, stop tuning in to things that don't make you feel good, the better this world is going to be. Now, I already know that a lot of you don't watch TV and you don't watch the news and all of that. I understand that. If we can get more people to. Okay, so we've got people from Catherine, Townsville, Bris Vegas, Roxby Downs, Home Hill, Dolby, Townsville. I hope you're the only one cutting out. Okay, awesome. All right, so I'll just tell you a little bit about me for those. There's a few people on here today that they're new names to us, and they're new people, and they're new people to the group. So, and that's from all of you guys inviting people and also putting it on your own pages. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I live in Katherine. I am a mother of 3. We also have a sheet metal business, not a sheep. I said that once on the cruise. I said, oh, we're into sheet metal. She's like, sheep and metal. That's interesting. Sheet metal, like steel. We had a steel business. And I've been teaching the law of attraction and the laws of the universe and coaching people for over 5 years now. Now, I came across this business by chance. I had been in our steel business. We bought the steel business back in 2010. And it was about 2014, I rang my accountant. I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Because we'd taken this business that was paper-based, it turned in computer, and I get bored a little easy. Like I felt like there was no more growth for me in that business. That's the truth of it. Like I love growing, I love learning new things, and I just felt like there was a cap there and I couldn't go any further. So I rang my accountant at the time and he said, Polly, that's it. Like, you bought this, you either sell it or you're there for the next 20 years. And I thought, there's got to be other options. Like, that just feels so restrictive, and I'm not into restrictive. So just by chance, there was a lady working in my office a couple of days a week, and she said, Polly, have you read Bob Proctor's book? And I said, Bob Proctor, he's from The Secret. She's like, yeah, because I'd seen The Secret and read The Secret. She says, yeah, and she said, he's running this thing called a paradigm shift, but you need to read this book first. I said, is he still alive? She's like, yes. I was like, oh, okay, because he was quite old in the Secret. So I started to read. It was you could download this PDF of You Were Born Rich, and I started reading that, and it was just a pain in the bum to read. So I said, can't I just buy this book? But you can't buy this book. You cannot just go on the internet and buy it. It's like you're either given a PDF or you get a copy from a coach that is working under Bob, because he only sells it to his coaches. I thought, okay. She said, you can do this YouTube thing. So I did this 10-hour YouTube. I watched it every morning and I watched it every evening. And then, like she'd said, let's do this paradigm shift. In this paradigm shift, Bob told his story. And his story was that he owed $6,000 in debt, and he was only earning $4,000. Now, this is back in the 60s, right? 50s and 60s. And he only got paid $4,000 a year. So even if he worked for 18 months, he still would only just break even, and he still had to live. And he had a friend came up to him and he said, if you will read this book, and the book was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you will read this book and do exactly as I tell you to do, so Ray had offered to be a mentor to him, and do exactly as I tell you to do, you can have anything that you want. Now, Bob was a bit skeptical, and he's like, I really don't think I can have anything. And Ray Stanford said to him, until such time as you find that I'm a liar, I want you to do everything that I tell you to do. Now, Bob thought about this for a little bit, and he thought, well, okay, Ray's always got money on him. I never see this fella sick, and he always seems pretty happy. Bob was miserable, he was always sick, and he had no bloody money. So he thought, what have I got to lose? So he did exactly what Ray Stanford asked him to do. And he took he started a company then. It was a company that cleaned. He went to $175,000 in his first year, and in 5 years he went to over $1 million. this story, when I was in that paradigm shift, got me, because when I was younger, I was always in debt. I was always sick, and I never really got what I wanted. Things had started to turn around, but I had no idea of what I'd done. I had my husband telling me that I had no concept of money, that I did things in a crazy way, and that I needed to change and do things the way everybody else was doing because my way was wrong. But what Bob was teaching was what I was doing, but I had no understanding of that's what I was doing. And then Bob said to the audience, and like this was on a Zoom, so I got up at 11 o'clock at night and went through till 7 o'clock in the morning, and he said, I want you to write down what it is you truly wanted. Now, I wrote down that I wanted to be a consultant for Bob Proctor, and I wanted to be in his inner circle, and I wanted him to teach me the law of attraction and all the laws of the universe, and I wanted him to be my mentor. Guess what? I did it, and I did it in 17 weeks. So that was for me like a huge thing. And you know, when you make a decision, and that was what I did. I made a decision that I'm going to do this. Everything turned up for me. The money turned up, the clients turned up, the person to take my position at the workshop turned up, my husband's willingness to help me out, because I was the mum that came home and cooked every night, and he stayed at work, and he came home, so then he started cooking and I studied, and all these things had to take place. But guess what? I got exactly what I wanted. I live the life that I want to live. I don't live like other people live. I don't tiptoe through life to make it safely to death. And I don't work and worry about how I'm going to pay for things. I just know that whatever I put my energy into is what I'm going to receive. And that is the law of attraction at its crux. Now, if you see me looking down, I have made notes here. I always write out my trainings and my presentations so that I've got a clear understanding of what you guys need. There is some intuition here that sort of says, okay, these guys need this, because this is different to anyone I've ever done before. So in my 5 years of coaching though, what I've found is that not everybody, and there's not very many people that want millions and squillions of dollars. What people want is financial security. They want financial freedom. They want to know that I can wake up in the morning and I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay this bill or how I'm going to get this. And if I want to go on this holiday, I know I can do it. That's what most people want. And then they want to be enthused about their day. They want to be excited to get out of bed and go to work or do whatever it is that they're doing. They want to be ignited by the people that they're spending time with. They want to be enthused about life in general. That is what most people want. Now, if that's something that you want, can you just write time and money freedom in the comments if that's what you want. Time and money freedom. So if you want time and money freedom, right, make sure you write that in the chat. Because I really want you to think about this. For the life that you've got going on right now and the results that you're getting right now, would you get out of bed 2 hours earlier if you were going to keep creating what you're creating now? Chances are you probably wouldn't. You'd be like, why the hell would I get out of bed 2 hours earlier if I'm just going to get what I'm getting now? That is not enthusiasm. Because I know I wouldn't do that. And then I think, well, maybe people just don't have a goal. Maybe that's what the problem is. People just don't have a goal, and maybe they need a goal. And there was another thing that Bob said at this seminar. He said, you can create your own economy. Now, I haven't done any business courses. I've not gotten into any of those sorts of things. I just asked people to teach me. You know what I did? And this is exactly what I teach my clients and my team. If you want something, find somebody that has been where you've been and got what you've got what you want, and ask them how they did it. So I went and worked for free in, I don't know if anybody of you know Faye Hartley. She used to be She used to have a fuel place here in the Eastside Mini Mart here and some other things. I went and did bookwork with her, and I asked her to teach me how bookwork works because I was going to open my restaurant one day. That's what I was going to do. And so I went and worked for free to learn. Anybody that has got what you want and has been where you are right now are always willing to help you. It is just the way that they work, because you cannot get where you are, like you cannot get any place higher than where you are without some sort of mentorship, without some sort of help, without some sort of people helping you think differently. Just yesterday I rang people. I'm like, okay, I want to do this, can you help me with the thinking? I just want to know, like, how do I actually need to think to make this happen? And like, anyway, you don't need to know that, but thinking is the key. You are churning out thoughts like 24 hours a day. Even when you're asleep, they're in a loop, they're still churning them out. You are thinking all the time. Are you conscious of what you're thinking? Do you understand that what you think about, you bring about? The law of attraction is everything is vibrating, everything is energy. Now that is physics. And Albert Einstein would, like, he's the one that taught us all of this, right? Whatever energetic state you are in is what you are attracting. So if you're angry, you are thinking angry thoughts. And if you do not change your thinking, another thought that makes you angry will join it, and another thought, and another thought, and another thought. If you are happy, another thought will join it, another thought, and you will just get happier and happier and happier. If you're somebody that worries a lot, imagine the pictures that you've got creating in your mind about worry. You worry about this, and then it's like, oh yes, and you need to worry about that too, and all these things just keep getting added to it. And then people turn into worry warts. You attract more thoughts of what you are thinking. So if you don't change what you're thinking about, expect another thought, just like the one that you just thought, to turn up. So you can create your own economy. And everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants time and money freedom. But most people's time is spent trying to figure out how they're going to pay the next bill, how they're going to buy the next car, how we're going to pay for the next holiday. The how word screws them over. Can you imagine how much time you'd have if you didn't have to worry about money ever again? If you didn't have to worry about where it was going to come from? Could you be more present with your family? Could you be more present in your work? Could you be more productive? Like, just think about these things. And then think about, how do you want to spend your days? If the money was there and all your bills were taken care of, how would you want to spend your days? Think about the job that you're in, the profession that you're in. Did you choose that? Or did you settle for that? What about the relationship that you're in? Did you choose that? Or did you settle for that? What about the friendships that you have? Are you like in these friendships because you chose them? Or has it just been going on for that long that now it's just like, well, this is who I am? How do your results happen? Look around you. Look around the people that you spend time with, and ask yourself, like, how did they get to where they are? Is it the same as me? Am I attracting like people to me? Or am I attracting different things? Whatever you think about is what you're attracting. Look at the people around you. Now, it is not good or bad. I'm not here to say you need to stop spending time with that person and start spending time with this person. I just want you to start to be a bit more conscious. And if you chose your life, would it be the one you're in right now? Is this the best scenario that you could ever come up with for your life? Or is there more? When you look in the mirror, are you happy with what you see? Do you go, yes, look at us, we're smashing it? Or are you looking at yourself and maybe talking down to yourself? This is your life. You are the creator. But we have not been taught how to create the way we want it. We have been taught that this is the way that it is. Just get over it and get on with it. Is that the way you want to keep living? And that's how most people live. That most people just think that the results are happening and I just have to deal with it. Results happen because of you. They don't happen to you. They happen for you to show you what you've been invested in. The thinking that you've been invested in, the feeling that you've been invested in. And I'll tell you now, your actions are just the product of your thoughts and your feelings. How you take action are the thoughts and your feelings, the product of that. So you just think about this, right? You wake up in the morning, the alarm goes off. You don't wake up. The alarm goes off and wakes you up. You're like, oh my God, I am so tired. I just didn't get to bed late last night. I'm just going to press snooze. You're the product of what's going on around you, the product of yesterday. And what you did today was because of yesterday. What if you had a goal? I've got some people that have a goal that want to create 100,000 in the next 6 months. And they've never done that before. They're not counting their own income. This is extra. On top of whatever they've got, they want to just manifest 100,000. Is that the action of somebody that believes that it's out there and I just have to just turn a few stones and there it is? No. They're up and enthused. They're like, I'm going after this. So you've got to have somewhere that you're going. But then also you have to understand that it's where you are right now that's holding you there. You have a thing called a paradigm. Now, it is a multitude of habits. If you are in the habit of living a mediocre life, you're going to do mediocre actions, which will be press and snooze. Which will be, oh, I'll just do 2 days a week. I really want to get fit, but I'll just do Mondays and Tuesdays. Mediocre is the killer of any dreams. I was talking to a few people this morning because I have a Wild Fit call with some people, just one-on-one calls, and it's an ingrained thing in us. Hey, everything in moderation. It's okay. So, is that how you want to live your life? Moderately, or you want to be kick-ass? Moderation never inspired anybody. Moderation never got anybody the dreams that they wanted. Moderation holds you back. So get out of mediocre and moderation mode. Decide today, I'm elite. Because an elite performer doesn't let circumstances decide what they do. An elite performer decides what they're going to do and create the circumstances that support them. That's how the law of attraction works. But if you are in the habit, now think about this, paradigm is habit. If you are in the habit of letting circumstances decide what you do and what you don't do, your paradigm has got you by the balls. So how did you get to where you are today? What sort of decisions did you make to get to where you are today? What decisions didn't you make? What action did you take? What action didn't you take? Have you let yourself down at any time? Now, I'm not saying this to beat up on yourself. I do not want you to go there. But if we do not look at where our paradigm is holding us back, and if we do not make connections that, oh my goodness, that little voice in my head stopped me from getting out of bed and going running at 5 a.m. That little voice stopped me from making that phone call, and somebody else made it, and now they've got the deal that I could have had. How many times have you let somebody else steal your dream because you didn't take the action? You can have the relationship you desire, you can have the income you desire, you can have the friendships you desire, you can have the job you desire, the company, whatever you desire. But you've got to take your attention off circumstances. You've got to turn your senses off to what is here and now. And you've got to learn to discipline your mind. Would I think this way if I had my goal? Would I think this way? Would I look back at myself and go, oh, great job, press and snooze. Paul, you did a great job there. I know you wanted to get up and I know you wanted to do what you wanted to do, but you pressed snooze and that was amazing. You did such a great job there. No, you are not going to do that. You're probably going to sit there in your bed at the end of your life going, oh, far out, I wish I had pressed like stop and got out of bed. I wish I had made that call. I wish I had gone after that. I wish I had decided to do thinking into results. I wish I had decided to have a mentor to kick me up the bum. I wish I had decided to have a team to help me get what I wanted to do. Because you know what? It is bloody hard work doing it on your own. And if you are not conditioning your mind every single day towards what you want, you will eat every negative suggestion that there is out there. You will listen to somebody else, what they say is wrong with the world, and you'll probably agree with them. And then where do you go from there? Probably down another thought and another thought and another thought. You have to change what you do, and you have to change it now. Your future is waiting for you. You have to step up and claim it. So the two things to know when you want anything in life, you have to know where you're going, and you have to know where you are right now. You have to know what program you're running with. Your paradigm is a program, and you were programmed since the day you were born. And even before that, you've got genetic programming before that. But since the day you were born, and sometimes even in the womb, I know some people that have heard what went on around them in the womb, but you have been programmed by what was said around you, the way you lived growing up, the conversations, what was in the newspaper, what people talked about, what you heard on the television, the movies that you watched, the cartoons that you watched, everything has built a belief system, which is your paradigm, inside your subconscious mind. And that belief system, that paradigm, that group of habits is what is pumping out your results. You are not in control. The paradigm is always in control. And if you cannot stand there and give me a 15-minute talk on how paradigms are created, how I can change my paradigm, how it's been in control of my life, and what I've done to change it, you probably don't know how to change it. And if you do not know how to change it, chances are it is going to be a pretty uphill battle. As soon as you know how to change it though, and you make the decision to change it, the walls come down. You have the power to. They're going to go up pretty quick, so you've got to take action straight away, but they come down. And it's all from a decision. So you have to understand the law of attraction, you have to understand paradigms, and you have to understand decision making. Those are the first keys to be able to even go after what you want. So none of us were taught this in school. I don't think anybody had a teacher in school that said, okay, because my teacher said to me, Paula, what do you want? My name's Paula, by the way. That's my real name. Polly, I got given when I was a chef. So my teacher said to me once, Paula, what do you want to be when you finish school? Because it's grade 10, right? So you have to go and choose somewhere where you want to do work experience. I said, I want to be a chef. It's like, well, where are you going to do your work experience? I said, I'm going to do it at the Frontier Hotel, which is what it used to be called. Now it's Contour. And he says, okay, right, so now you know what to do. Now, did he ever say to me, rightio, you're going to be able to go and work there, but for you to become a chef, there's going to be some hardships. There is going to be everything that you've ever heard, everything that you've ever hated, everything that you've ever loved, everything that is ever gone on around you is going to create the results to keep you where you are. Because at that time I was working at Big Rooster, and my parents said, I hated school. My parents said, you're not allowed to leave school after year 10 unless you have an apprenticeship. And I wanted to leave school and get an apprenticeship. But my paradigm was one where I wasn't worthy of that. That was what was in my paradigm from things that had happened in my past and circumstances and stuff like that, right? So that was what was there. I went and applied for apprenticeship, didn't get one. By the beginning of year 11, I had failed year 11. There was an accident with a friend of mine and I stopped going to school. because I didn't want to be there. I was getting forced to go there by my parents. But nobody ever said to me, now Paula, for you to become a chef, you are going to have to take out a part of your paradigm that is going to hold you back, and you're going to have to replace it with, I am a chef. And if you want to be an executive chef, you're going to have to replace that to, I want to be an executive chef. And these sorts of things have to change. You have to change that nobody ever wants me to employ me. It was so hard to get an apprenticeship these days. Like, all of these things had to change. Nobody said that to me. Imagine if they had have. Okay, Paula, now you're not allowed to talk about this. Now you've got to use your imagination, see yourself as a chef. You've got to maybe go through some challenges there. You're going to have to grow because maybe you've got a bit of a chip on your shoulder and da-da-da-da. Like, nobody said any of that to me. All they said was, it's bloody hard to get an apprenticeship and you're probably going to take you a few years and you're not allowed to leave school until you do. So if they had have said that, and now you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision right here now, right now, Paula, that you have to start seeing yourself as a chef right now. Because everybody, I used to be a chef, just so you know that. I did become a chef. And I became a head chef, an executive chef at Knots Crossing here in town. And you know what? I wanted to work on cruise boats when I was younger. I went and worked on cruise boats. Like, everything that I've ever really wanted to do, I have done. But I didn't know that I was using the law of attraction. I didn't know that there was such thing. Every relationship that I've got, I've created because I had a picture in my mind. I would like a relationship like this, and then all of a sudden it's there. But you know, I also had to overcome the person that I was. I was a pretty sad sack of a person. I was a whinger, I was a bitcher, I was a moaner, I was a yeller, I was a screamer. There was so much I had to change in myself. Those that knew me before the last 5 or 6 or 7 years knew a different version of Polly. I had somebody come into the workshop and they haven't seen me for about 5 years. They're like, where is Polly? And I said, here she is. And they're like, no, that's not Polly. Polly, I know, I could bait her and she would fly off the handle and she would crack the shits and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh no, she's left. Sorry, she's gone. This is new improved, Polly number 2. So imagine if we had had that. Imagine if you could give that to your kids. Imagine if you're a school teacher. I love teaching school teachers. I love school teachers because I know that they just haven't got 1 or 2 kids. They've got 30 of them. Or if they're a headmaster or something like that, a principal, they've got a whole school of them. But teaching people that teach children that, hey, there's going to be a few hardships for you to get there, and there's going to be a few challenges. But guess what? All you have to do is use your mind to overcome them. Because you are so much powerful than any circumstance. And if you can take your attention off those circumstances and just keep in the picture of your mind what you want, you will have it. Like, there's a great story about how I got my apprenticeship, which I can tell you another day. Anyway, so when I looked at my life, like, we are the product of our life growing up. And all of this is created before you're 6 or 7, before you can actively think for yourself. We have not been taught to think for ourselves. We have been taught to listen to this and regurgitate. Listen to this and repeat it. That's what we do in school. You learn something, you repeat it, and then you do a test, and then you get tested to see how much you can repeat something and how much you remember it. There are some things we would really benefit by not remembering and letting go and just leaving it where we got taught it. But anyway, I grew up, we didn't get our first, like, I had my first brand new car. My parents got divorced when I was 4 or 5. And so then, of course, when you split the sheets, there's arguments and all sorts of stuff and money, and everybody's fighting over money. And so we didn't get our first brand new car till I was 14. We had this busted ass car for so many years, and my sister even, like, Mum, do not drop me to school, because she went to high school and I was at primary school. Don't drop me to, can you just drop me off at the corner? I'm not letting my friends see this car. No way. Like, that's how like, we had it. The people around me gossiped a lot, and they whinged about people that had money and then ran them down to the ground. They gossiped about everybody. Our holidays were always driving to visit family. We never flew. I never went overseas. The only time I ever flew, I had to fly once, was because there was a cyclone in Broome and my sister had to get back to high school. Well, she was at St. John's. So I jumped in the plane with them and I had to stay with the nuns for a bit. My clothes were homemade. or they were hand-me-downs. And our dinners at home were the cheapest. We didn't go out for dinner. The only time we ever went out for dinner was our birthdays. So I remember going to Contour for my 13th birthday, and I had this, no, it was actually Kirby's where I did my apprenticeship. Kirby's, and I had this beautiful cake for my 13th birthday. And it was always my dad that took us out for tea for our birthdays. Or we'd go to the club. There would be dances at the club maybe on Friday nights, and us kids would be asleep under the tables or in the car. And we never ate seafood or anything like that because it was always too expensive. We never had steaks unless there was some friends had a killer, or one of our family members was he worked out on the, what do they call the crab? He was a crabber. So he'd bring in crabs sometimes. So that was the only sort of time that we had anything unless we run them in a raffle. So I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth or anything, but man, I wanted it. I wanted the life that there was no arguments about money. I wanted the life that I saw some of the other kids at school had. Like, their parents actually got along, and they weren't divorced, and they actually laughed together, and the kids actually wanted to spend time with them. Like, that was a foreign thing. So, no, my life wasn't bad. It just was. Like, if I had to choose my life growing up, I would choose it again, because it gave me a really good picture of what I did want and how I wanted to raise my kids. So I wanted a home for my kids that they came home to, and that was their home for the rest of their life, sort of thing. That they always knew it was going to be there. When I had kids, I was going to be staying with that person until such time as we're like not here anymore. These are decisions that I wanted, and it was because of my past. And I'm not saying that divorce is wrong or anything like that. Everything has a time and a place. I'm just telling you about what I wanted. And it's from watching other people around me. I was always somebody that just could see what was going on. Like, okay, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. And then I'd get really clear on what I did want. So, and I learned about the law of attraction a bit when I was about 19 or 20. I thought it was woo-woo. I thought, oh my God, this is this hippie stuff that, oh my God, what have I got into now? There's this friend that's into all this. Am I going to get roped into this? So, but I did listen. And they were talking about writing things down. And they said, if you can write down what it is that you want, you will have it. Now, only 3% of people write down what they want. You're not going to be that 3%. I mean, you're not going to be that 96% or 97%, aren't you? You're going to be that 3% that's going to write down what they want. 80% of people that write down what they want actually get it. 80%. Could you imagine if 50% of people wrote down what they wanted and 80% of them got it? Wouldn't this world be a much better place? If everybody stopped thinking about and getting involved with what was going on right now and just decided, I don't want that in my life, so I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm just going to pay attention to where I'm going, and I'm going to create the circumstances for me to get there. And I will attract to me those circumstances, the plots, the peoples, the events, everything for me to have that. As long as I am here and conscious. But if I'm worried about money and how I'm going to pay the bills, I'm not here. I'm over there. My body is here, but I'm over there thinking about this, and I'll miss them. I want you to understand the law of attraction is always working. It is always pumping out whatever you are thinking about, whatever you are in harmony, and it is always bringing those events to you. So if you are having challenge after challenge after challenge in your life, you've got to sit back and go, okay, what's the thinking that's creating this? If you're having win after win after win, you can go, okay, I'm going good at this. I'm getting some really great results here. And understand that you are the creator. I just need a drink. So when I was at that paradigm shift, I really understood after those 3 days, and this is exactly what I'm going to be teaching you in this 5 days, because what was most powerful was that I'm in charge of my results. Me. But for me to be in charge of my results, I have to take full responsibility for everything that's happened in my life up until now. Now for some people that's quite hard. But if you can take full responsibility for everything that's happened in your life right until now, guess what? You've just cleared the deck. It's not about blame. It's not about any of that. You've just cleared all that energy of regret and remorse and blah, 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 all those things. And you just go, okay, I got me to here. And here's not such a bad place. There'll be something good here. And we'll be talking about that throughout the week too. And if you start to look at what's good about your life right now, you'll find that, oh my goodness, this thinking got me here. This thinking got me here. And when you really understand the law of attraction, whatever I think about will create or draw to me and attract to me another like thought. And then if I spend a bit of time with that thought, then I'll get another thought exactly like the same sort of energy, right? So your goal has to be way up here. This is where you are. I want you just to think like, okay, the bottom of the screen, this is where you are. This is where you're living right now. But the way you want to spend your days is up here. And the life that you want to live is up here. But we think, and we've been taught to think from circumstances. So we think down here. So what do? We think about what's going on. We think about how we're going to pay this. We think about the shit argument that we had last night. We think about this and we watch the news and da-da-da. And guess what we attract? More of what is down here. However, when we go up here to where we want to be living and we think from that place, we think about what we want. If it's money, don't ever feel bad about that. It's okay. There's plenty to go around. It does not make you a bad person. But if you treat people ill or illy or not very nicely to get that money, that's not so good. You should be wanting money because it's going to better your life. And when you better your life, guess what? You better a whole lot of other people's lives. You think about it. You go on, there was this man on the cruise, right? He was a comedian. We went to him one night and he gets up on stage and he says, I can't believe this town. We all get off the boat. There's 700 people on this boat and you're all probably millionaires, and they shut the town and they go to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Meanwhile, 700 people with money to burn are walking around the streets and half the shops are shut. What does that actually tell us? And you think about it, that's what a lot of people do with their thinking. They think, oh my God, blah, blah, blah about rich people or people that have money or whatever. They're funding you. They're funding your business. They're sending the vegetables for you to buy. They probably built your car or bought your car or anything like that. You've got to start to think that you are a part of this. And if you stop being so judgy of people and of money, because money is just an extension of a person. However good, how much good a person has put out is going to be in direct proportion of how much they bring in. I know a whole lot of wealthy people and they are beautiful people and they would go over, like bend over backwards to help people. And I look at them, I think that's why you're wealthy. It hasn't, like, yes, you are attracted to and you bring things in to make decisions from. But the reason a lot of people are wealthy is because of the good that they put out. And because they're putting good out and they want to help other people, guess what? People want to help them. And then they get more opportunities to help more and more people. So you can be one of these. Maybe you want a different relationship. Maybe you want to fix your relationship. There's probably nothing even wrong with your relationship, except the way you're looking at it. And the decisions that you've made about what some actions actually mean. Ask yourself, do I want to think that? Do I want to think that about that person? And if I had the relationship that I wanted, would I think that about that person? No. Is that going to get me what I want? Like, really start to think. It's your thoughts that attract everything into your life. And if you don't learn to discipline your thoughts and discipline what you are thinking about and discipline where you put your attention to, you will probably keep getting the same thing. So I had to learn two things. I had to learn how to make decisions, and I had to learn how the law of attraction works. Now, I've explained a bit about the law of attraction, but everything is energy. Everything is energy, everything. Even in this air, there is energy. If not, how could like electric sparks go off? How can there be, you think about it, where's the radio music come from? Where is it? It's in this room. It's in your room. It's wherever you are. It's in your car. It's outside. Your thoughts travel through space, just like the radio does. All you need is a transmitter and a receiver, and that's what your brain is. Your brain transmits a frequency and receives a frequency, and it will receive exactly what it transmits out, because as that's leaving, the new one is coming in. So as that thought is going out, the next thought is coming in. So if you don't change what you project out, you're going to keep receiving what you've always received. You've got to change what you project out, and you do that by your thinking. So if you are not thinking into the results you want, guess what? You're probably thinking into circumstances. And when you think into circumstances, you create them over and over and over again. And then we say, first thing, like, what's that first sign of insanity? Is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It took me years to understand that. I know, maybe you look daft here, I tell you. But my husband, you know, some people, hey, you just turn off your ears to them. They're like, oh, he's talking to me again. He's telling me something I'm doing wrong again, because like I was no good with money, and I was no good this, and I'm doing this wrong, and I have no concept of money, and all of these things. And then he's saying, yeah, insanity, and I'd be drinking, and just shut up, Craig, just keep drinking. And then the next day I'd wake up and I'd feel shitty, and he'd say to me, oh, Polly, definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expect a different result. I'm just like, oh, whatever. And then I heard somebody say it on one of my trainings, and I'm going to the workshop, I'm like, honey, did you know what? I've been like acting insane for years. And he's like, oh, have you, dear? I said, yeah, I've been doing the same thing and expecting something different. That's insanity. And he's like, I think I've been telling you this the last few years. Are you guilty? I'm going to own it. I was. I've got to take responsibility for everything that's happened in my life. I was guilty of that. So then, guess what? I've got power. I'm in charge. I just have to change what I do. And if I change something that I do daily, I will get different results. But what do I want? Oh, all right, we come back to that. Okay, what do you want? Ask yourself, what do you want? If you could have anything, what do you want? And we think in pictures. I can tell you to think of an elephant, and you'll think of an elephant. A pink giraffe, you'll get a pink giraffe in your mind. Change the pictures that you're thinking from. Get a really clear picture of what you want. We're going to go through that in the next few days too. But the law of attraction is always working. And you will always attract the exact energy that you put out. So if it's gossiping, like you're bitching about somebody, you just get more reasons to bitch about somebody. If you're grateful, you just get more things to be grateful for. If it's anger, you'll just get more things to be angry about. If it's love, you'll find more things to love. Just understand. The law of attraction is always working. Nobody ever says like, oh, there's a law of gravity. That's one of the 7 laws of the universe too. There's a law of gravity, and whatever is heavier than air will drop to the center of the, drop to the earth. There's a pull there. Nobody questions it. But the law of attraction, you mention that, and manifesting, people go, oh my God, that's woo-woo, whoa. It is not. You can use it. This is all up to you. So my most logical answer to all of everything that I've ever done is if I don't like, and Steve Jobs said this, right? If I don't like what I'm doing after a few days in a row, I know something has to change. And I know I'm just paraphrasing there, but have a look at your life. Do you love exactly what you're doing, or do you live for weekends? Are you earning the money that you believe that you're really worthy of? There's no limit on you. You're a limitless being. Is my life what I would want my kids to live? Is it what I want my grandkids to live? Is it inspiring? Because as a being, now we're human beings, remember, we're beings, not human doings, but we're human beings. And our beingness is here to better the world. Are we bettering it? Are you bettering it with your thoughts? Are you bettering yourself? So in 2019, when I became a consultant with Bob Proctor, and the Proctor Gallagher Institute used to be called it back then, it's just Proctor Gallagher now, I decided I was going to find the money to go to every single training that I could. I don't know why I was in such a rush, but I was just like, okay, I've got to do this and I've got to do this now. So 2019, I signed up in May. I went to September training. I went back and did the Matrix in November. Those were both in Canada, in Toronto. Then he did a training in LA. I went to that training in LA, and then COVID hit. And then there was no more travel. And Bob sadly died while COVID was going on. So there was no more trainings except online, which of course I would get out of bed no matter what time. If that man was on live, I was in front of this screen with him. Or I used to have a TV in here that I'd screen it to a TV so that I could watch it. But I decided that if somebody was going to teach this stuff, I was going to be there to learn it. Because the better that I could learn it, the better I could teach it. And the better I got at it, the better I would be helping the world change as well. There are no coincidences in life, none at all. You create it all. And you create it with how you think. And you create it with how you feel. Your thoughts always create a feeling in you. And if you're not conscious of your body, that's maybe somewhere where you maybe have to start to spend a bit of time, get into some yoga or something like that, just to start to feel your breath. Because I know as soon as I'm involved in a negative thought, and it'll just start to hit me somewhere in my solar plexus here, it's just like, okay, I've got to get out of that thought as soon as I can. But some people spend weeks in there. Some people spend years. And then they wonder why they end up with disease. Not disease, dis-ease. It's thinking negative thoughts. When we think negative things, we create negative results. We think positive thoughts, we create positive results. As soon as you decide that you want something different, your paradigm is going to give you reasons why it can't work. It is going to start throwing up ideas. Remember, this person said this. Remember this, though, that you're not worthy of this. Remember, you're a bit of a no-hoper. Remember, oh, you're not real good at maths, or blah, blah, blah. It's going to give you all these conditions from your past that if you weren't working on yourself, you would let stop you. But now that you know that that's what that's going to do, you can go, oh, yeah. You can be like, they can be like little flies. Just flick them off. No, shoo. And it's going to take a bit of practice for you. Trust me. I'm still doing it. You know, Bob Proctor, my coach, he was 58 years in this business before he passed away. Or maybe he even got to 60 years. He was 87, so he's 26. So 61 years. 61 years he was doing this business for. And he said he still had paradigms. He still had old conditionings come up, try and stop him every time he created a new goal. You are the center of your universe. You have to learn to believe in yourself. And if you need some help with that, there is plenty of help out there. It may not be me that you want to get it from. It may not be me and my team. We are here ready to help anybody that wants it, but find somebody. Find somebody that is going to help you grow. And because you think about that book, I thought it was just here. The book is Think and Grow Rich. It's not think and bitch and moan and grow rich. It's not think and work harder and grow rich. And it's not think and sit down and just wait for it all to happen and grow rich. It's think and grow. So you need to think about the richness of the life that you want. Now, richness is in health, in wealth, in happiness, in relationships, in everything. Think about that and then grow. It will always be from a steady sequence of growth. The thinking that you are doing today probably isn't the thinking that is going to get you where you want to go. Otherwise, you'd already be there. So you have to grow in your thinkingness. That's a good word. Grow in your being. Grow and think differently. If you find yourself in a thought that you've maybe thought, because, you know, look, you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 90% are the same thoughts you had yesterday, day before, and all that. So, like, we are just on that insanity wheel. So you've got to stop and go, okay, what am I thinking about this situation? Like, in each moment that you can become conscious, just bring it in. What am I thinking about this? I'm thinking there's a stupid idiot and that's this and da-da-da-da-da. And it's okay, what would my thinking need to be so that this problem doesn't maybe come back again? Because chances are it's been the same thing over and over again, just maybe comes in a different form. Check your feeling. How do you feel? So then you've got to ask yourself, how can I think about this differently? Soon as you start to think differently, the paradigm is just like it's sort of been dulled, it's muted a bit. How can I think about this differently? You start to get ideas. Ask yourself questions. You got all the answers. So, make decisions. I'm just going to recap today before I do this first draw. Because remember, there's prizes, everybody. If you haven't done the draws, there's prizes. Oh, and Maggie's going to put up the prizes for today because I've put my book over there. But Maggie's going to put up, there is some growth work for you to do today. And it will be posting, okay? Do not be afraid of this. We're in this group. Nobody's going to hurt you. We're all here to help you. But you're going to answer some questions on a post for us to go into tomorrow's draw. Today's draw, we've got 10 people. And Maggie sent me a message here. Anyway, we're going to recap. Today, figure out what you want. Think about the life that you'd like to live. Do you have time and money freedom? If not, what would it look like? The law of attraction. What is it really? Like attracts like. That's the crux of it. Like attracts like. I attract what I'm in harmony with. What am I in harmony with? Look at my results. That's what I'm in harmony with. And unless I change that, then I'm going to keep getting these results. Decisions. I don't make decisions from down here. I make decisions from where I want to end up. So that then I can applaud myself. Well done, you made that decision. Look at that. We got here. You will probably have more regrets for the things that you didn't do rather than the things that you did do and maybe didn't quite get what you wanted. But if you just sit there and do nothing, you probably will get nothing. Okay. Okay. We have 10 people. Hey Siri, can I please have a random number between 1 and 10? It's 8. Kelly Hill. Beautiful. That is so good. So Kelly, you will be getting a deck of my affirmation cards. This is today's ones for all of you. I'm a money magnet. That was mine today. So you're going to get a deck of these. If anybody wants to purchase these, just let us know. And also one of my journals, which is your goal writing, your gratitude, your powerful statements about you. And I'm so glad it's you. I am so glad that it's you. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm so sorry about the comments. It's not working. I'm going to shut this computer down overnight so it will go to sleep, and then tomorrow it'll wake up and it'll be amazing because we are going, you know, and see, that's what your paradigm does, okay? As soon as you go and change something and you change your energy a bit, your paradigm goes, I'm going to try and hold you back. And I'm going to put all these challenges in front of you. Your job is to hold the energy of your goal. Like, everything is working out for me. It is so good. Don't get emotionally involved in it. Just deal with it and it will go away, okay? Don't put so much energy into it. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, team. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.